Next up, guys, we got a fun one here between Chris Gutierrez and Montel Jackson. And Montel Jackson is 31 years of age. He's the younger fighter in this matchup by 1 year. He's taking on an opponent who he's going to have significant height and reach advantages over. Montel Jackson is going to be able to be touching Chris Gutierrez from a range where Chris Gutierrez cannot touch him. Now, Gutierrez leverages his excellent low kicks. That is his primary weapon. That is his best attack. He also has, some impressive wins over the course of his UFC career. The win over Frankie Edgar, that was a Frankie Edgar significantly past his prime. It was unfortunate. The Dana Bakary win, I was there live in person. I believe that was at UFC Columbus where he got that spinning back fist. Absolutely incredible. Did cost me my ticket there. And, I thought he probably lost that first round, but he's a guy that's got power. He's got knockout ability, no doubt about it. But I feel like the other wins he got in the UFC, Andre Ewell, I don't really rate that. Losing to Pedro Munoz, I faded him with Pedro Munoz at plus money. That was great. That was awesome. And Cody Durden went to a draw there. That's impressive enough, but Cody Durden's a flyweight. He's a bantamweight. He's going to draw there. He's getting 10-8'd in the first round by, I believe, a short notice UFC debutant in that spot. Beat Vince Morales, a guy who's really struggled with low kicks over the course of his UFC career. Beat Geraldo de Freitas, a guy who did not hang around with the organization. Beat Ryan McDonald, a guy that did not hang around, unfortunately, with the organization. Pretty good fighter, though. Lost to Houndy Barcelos, got finished there. So you look at him overall, his UFC run, he's got a lot of wins, but not that many super impressive wins over guys that matter. He's got 2 split decisions there. He's given up a bunch of takedowns. He went to, that draw with Durden as well. So he's definitely not always cleared a huge margin in his fights. I think Montel Jackson's a problem for him, to tell you the truth. Montel Jackson, he's got the size advantages here, but he's also got power, devastating power, knocked down JP Buys a million times, probably changing his chin for life. Montel not finishing JP is criminal. I actually bet JP in that spot. JP is a really good back taker. He's really skilled in some of those positions. The problem is he's got the worst chin in MMA. And Montel Jackson kind of just let him, recover a few times in that spot. But JP was also just really doing well at recovering there because he was up a weight class. When he cuts weight, he is not able to take the shots at all. But when he was, dealt this fight, you look at his record in the UFC, 7-2 for Montel Jackson. That's really impressive stuff, guys. 2 losses by decision. It was to Brett Johns and Ricky Simone, 2 guys that are both very proven, that are both winning fighters in the UFC. And Brett Johns, I think he might have even went on to retire. I can't remember. Seems like he's still active based on his resume, but he just had a canceled bout recently. He withdrew from that bout. But overall, he's a guy that he lost to Danny Sabatello, Pedro Munoz, and Aljamain Sterling in his whole career. So Brett Johns, very quality resume. Ricky Simone, another guy, he was just in a UFC main event. So very, very, quality losses. Wins in the UFC. Brian Kelleher, Andre Sukmatov, Felipe Colares, that's the shared win between the two. Jesse Schrader, JP Buys. All right, all of those are not so good. But Julio Arce and Hani Yahya, those are both good wins for Montel Jackson to have on his resume, at this stage of the game. The Julio Arce win, I thought was particularly impressive. So for me, Montel Jackson, too much size, too much length, too much punching power, too much ability. And if anybody was to mix it up with wrestling and grappling in this spot, I think it's Montel Jackson. So give me Montel Jackson quick. I think he's going to be too quick for Chris Gutierrez, and I think he's going to get off in the better shots. So give me Montel Jackson to get the job done here.